Next, we move on to entdeckendes Lernen. This is also one of the important topic, and the difference is always asked as an exam question. So there is something called as deductives verfahrendes Lernen and inductives verfahrendes Lernen. We will go through what individual items mean and what are the key differences between deductives verfahren and inductives verfahren. In a deductives verfahren, the teacher gives all the required information along with the exercises, so that the teacher's responsibility is to ensure that learning takes place successively. Whereas in an inductives verfahren, the learning takes place as a selbstentdeckendes process, self-study process. So in a deductives verfahren, the students have a passive role, whereas in an inductives verfahren, the students are the ones who are going to be working with the exercises, and they will learn the grammatic rules and structures by themselves. It's just like finding a puzzle or a treasure hunt, something like that. In deductives verfahren, teachers have an active role and they have to explain everything, whereas in inductives verfahren, the teachers have only a guiding role. They don't have to explain every single rule, just like a Frontalunterricht. They don't have to do. In a deductives verfahren, it is Absteigen von Allgemeinen zum Besonderen, meaning you will have a general rule which will be explained and then the exceptions will be explained. Whereas in an inductives verfahren, you go from a particular interesting exception and then you will eventually generalize the full usage of the grammatical element. So these two are opposites. Now in a deductives verfahren, the way you deduce the result or the rules are basically from a general rule towards a single component. Whereas in case of inductives verfahren, the rules and regulations of a grammatical structure are concluded via observation, comparison and then generalization. You take 2-3 structures, you observe how the grammatic elements are placed, you compare them and then you finally come to a conclusion of the grammatical rule. Now the takeaway from a deductives verfahren is rules, Gesetz, also the grammatical structure rules, and then the definition. The takeaway from the inductives verfahren is the experience, how the individuals have learned the grammatical structure. Now the end point of a deductives verfahren is basically confirmation that the rules are in the Kopf of the students. Whereas in case of inductives verfahren, the end point is the inductive definition, der allgemeinen Satz. What is the individual definition which the students have arrived towards the overall structure of the grammatic. So this difference is very important. Moving on, we further come down to entdeckendes Lernen. This section describes about the tips which are available in the books which will help in doing self-learning. So the book, to make the structure and the rules clearer, it will give you Grammatikkasten, basically boxes, where the rules and the form are already formed. You must make sure that the 4 formulae which are given in the boxes, it has only the relevant info and it will not give you any complex terminologies. So it won't tell you how to conjugate the verb. It will say that the conjugation is in the second position, verb is in the second position. It will not give you the full conjugation of the verb and all. Now during the exercise phase, the exercises are executed using gelenkte Aufgabe, meaning there will be certain control elements in the task and you will execute the grammatical task via these control elements. The books also offer practice books or Arbeitsbuch, a CD and a Verweis system, a tip system. This is how you form this, etc. Tips which are necessary for learning the grammatical structure on your own. Furthermore, Entdeckendes Lernen offers tips for the teachers. The teachers must decide on their own whether to introduce self-learning in your class or not. So if the students in your class don't have any experience, then you must think what level of self-learning you should introduce. Always go with the example. First explain a rule and then show the students how to find the next rule. Always use small controlled examples and small controlled exercises to practice self-Entdeckendes Lernen. When you are doing a Group and Arbeit, always do the Group and Arbeit in small groups so that they don't get scared away by the big group, or there will be problems when you are executing a big group. So make sure to execute the self-Entdeckendes Lernen in small groups.
With that, the chapter comes to an end. Please feel free to like, subscribe and comment to the channel. If you have any questions, then contact me via email or put down your comments and I'll be able to reply. Thank you.